Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Sunday. It is 23rd of November. It is Kesha Masa or Margasesha Masa, Sukla Paksham, Tadiya Tithi. There are no Vaishnava events in the calendar. So we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Maitreya Muni speaking to Vidura about the beginning of the creation. So especially our universe. So in the beginning of the universe, the Lord is only lying on the Adishesha. He was the alone. Udaplutum Vishwam idam tadasid yennidhrayami litadrug nyamilayet ahindra talpe adisayana ekaha ahindra talpe adisayana ekaha krutakshanaha swatmarato nirihaha. So he is in the Yoga Nidra, lying on the Adishesha, Ahindra Talpe. And so that is, he is lying on the devastating water. So, and at the time, his eyes were half closed. Nidriya, Amiletadruk, Nimilayat. And then within his body, all the living entities in their settled bodies, they have been submerged in the body of Garbhodaksa Vishnu. Okay, so Antah Sarirapite Bhotu Sukshmaha Kalatmikam Sekti Mudirayanaha. Kalatmikam Sekti Mudirayanaha. So they are situated within the body of the Garbhodakasa Vishnu by their Kala Sekti. Vos means Rilepadesva Yatanalo Darini Ruddhaviryaha. And how it is being compared, it is like the fire is already in the wood. In a similar way, all the living entities are situated within the body of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. So after saying that, Maitreya Muni saying, so the Lord has stayed within that Garbhodaka water for 1,000 yuga cycles by his internal potency. So it is like a by his internal potency and his Kala Shakti. Kala Shakti, it works on top of the living entities. And this living entities, when the time comes, and that Kala Shakti, it agitates the living entity to come out and to carry out their activities. So they will happen by the energy of the Lord. And the Lord also sees that his body is in the bluish color. Okay, likewise, Maitreya Muni speaking to Vidura. Okay, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 8, verse number 12. चतुर्युगानां च सहस्रमप्सु स्वपन् स्वया उदितया स्वशक्त्या कालाख्या साधितकर्मतन्त्रो लोकान् अपीतान् ददृशे स्वदेहे. Chaturyuganam cha sahasramapsu. Chaturyugas means Chatuhu is the 4 of the yugas, Yuganam of the millenniums, Chaturyuganam cha Sahasram Apsu, also Sahasram, 1000 that yuga cycles. Apsu in that water. Swapan Swaya Udiritaya Swasikya, and Swapan is dreaming in sleep by Swaya with his internal potency. So Lord is lying in that water for 1000 yuga cycles. Chaturiganam cha sahasramapsu swapan swaya. And then Udiritaya Swasikya, Udiritaya, so for further development by his own energy. Kalakya Yasa, Kalakya by the name Kala Shakti. Asadita being so engaged by engaging in the Kala Shakti. Kalakya Yasa, Karma Tantro in the matter of the fruitive activities for whom the Lokan, the total living entities, all the living entities. Kalakya Yasa, Karma Tantro. Apitan, Apitan is the bluish color. Pita is the yellowish color. Apitan is the bluish color. Apitan. So Prabhupada is giving meaning like that. Apitan. Dadrushe Swadehe. And he saw it so in his own body. His own body is in the bluish color. Okay, so Lord is lying within that water, Garbhodaka water, for 1000 yuga cycles. And whenever it is the time for the development of the fruitive activities of all the living entities. So during that time, the Lord sees his body as bluish color. Chaturiganam sahasramapsu swapan swaya udritaya swasakya kalakyasita karmatantro lokanapitan dadrushe swadehe. Translation. The Lord lay down for 1000 cycles of 4 yugas in his internal potency, and by his external energy, he appeared to be sleeping within the water. When the living entities were coming out for further development of their fruitive activities, actuated by the energy called Kala Shakti, he saw his transcendental body as bluish. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Can I request Rajalakshmi Mataji to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranama. In the Vishnu Purana, Kala Shakti is mentioned as a avidya. The symptom of the influence of Kala Shakti is that one has to work in the material world for fruitive results. The fruitive workers are described as a Bhagavad Gita as mudas or foolish. Such foolish living entities are very enthusiastic to work for some temporary benefit within perpetual bondage. One thinks himself very clear throughout his life if he is able to leave behind him a great asset of wealth for his children. And to achieve this temporary benefit, he takes the risk of all sinful activities without knowledge that such activities will keep him perpetually bound by the shackles of material bondage. Due to this polluted mentality and due to material sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appear to be bluish. Such an impetus of activity for fruitive results is made possible by the dictation of the external energy of the Lord Kala. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki
Ki
jai.
Jai.
So here, Srila Prabhupada is describing about the Kala Shakti. Kala time it works on the bodies which have got the materially like the which is made by Panchabhutas. So it is not permanent. The body keep on changing. That we do not recognize. We do not change, but the body is getting changed at every moment. That time factor, it acts on the body, not on the soul. Soul is transcendental. And the symptom of this influence of the Kal Shakti is that one has to work in the material world for fruitive results, because these fruitive results, again, he is deep rooted desires. So those, in order to fulfill those desires, he will take a particular type of body, and then he will carry out. The nature will allow him, it will allow the body to go through such kind of circumstances, work in the for the fruitive results. The fruitive workers are described in the Bhagavad Gita as modas. This is ahankar vimodatma kattaham iti manyate. They're foolish. They think that they are the workers and they are doing everything. And then here, for the purpose, such foolish living entities are very enthusiastic to work for some temporary benefit within the perpetual bondage. So this is called Krupanaha Palahetavaha. And Krupana Brahmana. Brahmana, he works selflessly only in the service of the Lord. And he works for the people in a society. There also he is selfless. That is called Brahmana. And he has got the qualities of a Brahmana. Samaha, Damaha, Tapo, and then Swadhyayanaha. So there are around Arjavam, seven qualities for a Brahmana. Of course, there are many qualities, but Krishna has mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita in summarizing the seven of them. But Krupanas who wanted to do it everything for himself, his body and his kin's very dearest people. And then one thinks himself very clever throughout his life if he is able to leave behind him great asset of wealth for his children and to achieve this temporary benefit, he takes the risk of all sinful activities without knowledge that such activities will keep him perpetually bound by the shackles of material bondage. This particular statement, it would strike many people in this world, at least 99.9%. Everyone falls in this particular category. Sometimes we earn some money, but we would like to somewhere or other save the taxes, and we do not show something. And leaving the assets for the children, for that sake, we take the risk of all sinful activities without knowledge that such activities will keep him perpetually bound by the shackles of material bondage. So one has to be, it is mentioned like याम या मध्यमुपादत्ते दुःखेन सुखहेतवे tam tam dhunoti bhagavan puman sotyati yat krute. One person struggles very hard to earn livelihood, and then that livelihood or the assets or material wealth or anything that will be taken in due course of time. That is the nature. Nothing is permanent. Puman sotyati yat krute. That person, he laments later on. But once we earn so much of wealth and we want to leave it to the children, but here that is good, but he is take the risk of sinful activities. He does not want it to be transparent sometimes. Transparent in the sense committing some kind of sinful activities, making business in the black markets and doing some kind of which is a business which is not authorized by the government. So that is kind of a sinful act which would harm others, which would not help himself personally. These are all sinful activities without knowledge that such activities will keep him perpetually bound by the shackles of material bondage. So, due to this polluted mentality and due to material sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appeal to be bluish. So, here Prabhupada is giving, due to this polluted mentality and due to material sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appear to be bluish. When we see our sky, the sky is bluish color. So I think we may relate these things. And here the Lord is saying he's bluish. Here Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, where all the living entities are situated. Lokan apitan dadrushe swadehe. So it is all the living entities. And then this is aggregate combination of living and appear to be bluish. Prabhupada is giving due to the polluted mentality and due to material sins. Okay, so this is what Prabhupada is giving here. Due to the sinful material sins or polluted mentality. And such impetus of activity for fruitive results is made possible by the dictation of the external energy of the Lord Kala. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Kalosmi lokakshay krut pravruddho. That is, Krishna says, Kalosmi. I am the time. Antaha Purusha Rupena Kal Rupena Yo Bahihi. And Antaha Purusha Rupena in the internally as a super soul and outside as the Kala Shakti. So this one it is described by Kapil Bhagavan as well. That is, Krishna says that Kalosmi lokakshet krut pravruddho lokan samahattam iha pravruttaha rute pitpam na bhavishyam na bhavishyanti sarve ye avasitaha pratyinikesh yodhaha Kalosmi lokakshet krut pravruddho and the Kalosmi, I am the time and the Lokakshaya. Lokakshaya means destruction of these planetary systems and the people. Lokakshaya, Krut Pravruddho, and again development. Lokan Samahattum Iha Pravruttaha, and Lokan, all the people. Samahattum Iha, whoever is assembled in the Kurukshetra battle. Samahattum Iha Pravruttaha, to be engaged in fighting. Ritepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve except yourself and you Pandavas. Ritepi tvam is yourself, you Pandavas. Na bhavishyanti sarve. No one would exist here in their bodies. Na bhavishyanti sarve. Ye avastitaha pratyinekeshu yodhaha. And whoever is situated in the Kurukshetra battle. Ye avastitaha pratyinekeshu yodhaha. And they are very enthusiastic to fight. And also either our side, Pandava side warriors or opposite side warriors. Prachinikeshu on the opposite side, Yoda, all the soldiers, everyone, they will be destroyed in due course of time. Lokosmi, Kalosmi lokakshet krut pravruddho lokan samahartamiha pravruttaha rute pitvam na bhavishanti sarve ye avastitaha prachinikeshu yodhaha. After 100 years, if we just move the clock for 100 years forward, who would live here? No one. Whomever we think at the moment exist, our bodies do not exist, their bodies would not exist. And then they may take the different bodies. At that time, we may not recognize. But we think we commit so many other activities while we have got this body, which are sinful, which is not prescribed by the government, or which are not useful to the body, which is not useful to the soul. So that's why Prabhupada and all our scriptures divert atato brahma jijnasa tadvidyanardham sagurumeva abhigachet. One has to go approach spiritual master and know about the Atma Jnana and about Supreme Personality of Godhead. Know your constitutional position. It is very nice to stay within the nice home and family. That is good. But for what purpose? But purpose must be, which should be eternal, not the temporary thing. If it is a temporary thing, always fightings and arguments, it goes on. It doesn't matter whether it is a child or a husband or a wife or brother or mother or something like that. Always this fighting, cats and dogs fighting, always goes because purpose is varied. If it is Krishna consciousness, the purpose is the same, only one purpose, serving Krishna, then or everyone's activities surrounding and concentrating only at the lotus feet of the Lord, then everyone has got a harmonious environment in the home. This will be developed from the when parents become devotees by their early ages. When the parents are devotees from their early ages, then things will be very nice. And once they raise children up to the teenagers or something like that, and they did not do anything until that point of time, and then they will take a devotional service. By the time whatever has happened already happened, they have made their own ways. So it has crossed their hands. However, because again, it is the energy of the Lord. This is the Kal Shakti or the Prakriti is working on us. So that's why in Krishna consciousness, we need to raise the children from beginning. For the children's sake, at least, we need to be devotees. We need to be devotees. Their children, they follow the parents' path. Without we teach them, they do not learn even a single bad word. Everything the children learn from the parents. Of course, they will also get from the previous uh, past life karmas, they will bring it, but that can be nullified by the strength of the parents' devotional service. They can change their path. Yeah, but this is what we can do. So here, such an impetuous activity for fruitive results is made possible by the dictation of the external energy of the Lord, Kala. But in the Vaikuntha, whenever if we take any particular spinning thing, if you would like to spin a wheel, at the edge of the wheel, the speed is faster, and in center of the wheel, the speed is less, or there is zero speed at all. In the similar way, all the planetary systems, they are keeping this Dhruvloka as center point. They're all rotating. Dhruvloka is center; it does not move. And on top of that, the Lord's planets. Kshetradak Sai Vishnu also lives within the Dhruva planet, or Dhruva planet or Kshetradak Sai Vishnu, so they are nearby. And there, time does not pravartate yatra rajastamastayoho sattum shamishram nachakal vikramaha. Nachakal, no, there is no time influence, no three material modes of nature. Nayatra maya kimutapare, there is no maya also. Anurata Sura Asura Achitaha. And there, demons and also devotees, everyone, they're worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the spiritual planets. And was thinking of why Asuras would exist. Everyone would exist, but the Asura nature does not exist. Because three material modes of nature does not exist. Time does not exist. That's why everyone works for the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a harmonious way. Anuradayatra Sura Asura Architaha. They all worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where there is no time factor. Yes, this is all scriptures, they describe the same thing. Okay, so that is what Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. So here, Maitreya Muni is saying, Chaturyuganam sahasramapru swapan swaya udiritaya swasekya kalakya sadita karma tantru lokan apitan dadrushe swadehe. Okay, so why it is bluish color? Prabhupada is giving the statement that due to polluted mentality, due to material sins, the aggregate combination of total living entities appear to be bluish. That is what Garbhodak Sai Vishnu he says. Lord sees that his tangible body as bluish. It is the Kalakyasi, the Karma Tantru. Lokan Apitan Dadrushe Swadehi. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We got Rajlakshmi Mataji hand raised.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Actually, when we are doing any professional life or any personal life, when we are telling children also, we will tell them, okay, you have to aim all A stars and everything. So, and we will set that positive mind as a goal. But if we are not expecting fruitive results, then
Here the thing is, telling is different. By doing, showing practical example is entirely different. If we do not do, and if we tell the children hypocrisy, they do not learn. It will go it will go in wrong directions. That is where mostly we see practically in our lives. We do not do it and we do not follow it, but we ask the children, don't do it, don't do bad things, but we do it. Don't watch TV, but we watch it. And don't do these things, but we do it. This is giving duplicity. That information is duplicity to the children.
yeah, but expecting fruitive results, is it not good, Prabhu?
Expecting fruitive results for what purpose?
Like it could be for children's education, or for example, okay, in job
What is
life, okay,
what?
promotion.
So here again, education, of course, that is one reflection, but we need to be practically. One side is materially. If the children are studying very well and getting good jobs, and what they do, they will work for someone else that is needed, and they needed to maintain their body. That is good, but what is the purpose? So purpose must be one thing. One is the sense gratification, or one is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hushikena Hushikesha Sevanam. When the center point is one, if we do not keep the center point, then what happens? The sense gratification, it will drag you and put you into different miseries. And people will not be aligned to each other. We have got government has established some rules. These are the rules of a government. Likewise, there is the rules by the Supreme Personality of Godhead for this. When He has created this universe, He has established the rules. This is Dharmam Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. They're all in the Vedic injunctions. And in this age of Kali, people they do not understand all the Vedic injunctions. So Krishna has extracted in a summary only 700 slokas of Bhagavad Gita. How many people take that one and live? Even if we look at ourselves, even few years back, we were not at Krishna consciousness because we have been raised in such an environment, and they were also like that. Our parents, they were also like that. Everything karanam gunasangasya sad asadhyoni janmasu, by the association. Once, when at least when we become the devotees, when we came to know that, again, knowing that except Krishna consciousness, nothing will give any good solutions. लोको विकर्म निरतः कुशले प्रमत्तः कर्मण्येम त्वदुदिते भवदच्चने स्वे यस्तावदस्य बलवानिह जीविताशं सज्जः चिनत्ति अनिमिषाय नमोस्तु तस्मै. Lord Brahma's prayer to Garbhodak Sai Vishnu. It comes in the next chapter. So, loko vikarma niritaha kushale pramattaha. They do not take the instructions of Bhagavad Gita and they carry on by their own intelligence and entangle here. And then all of their plans will be cut to the pieces. I want to take good wife. Wife comes and then later on what happens? It is very difficult to maintain a beautiful wife. They do not come just like a beauty. Behind pride and arrogance, so many other things, a bag of so many other things. It is very difficult. And if it is another woman coming, one may be, if a woman is very beautiful and all good qualities, it is very hard. So some people may imagine. But again, these things come into our life, husband and wife, or the children, or the partners, or anyway, the people who will come. It is not for the purpose of sense gratification, so that they will realize and then come to the lotus feet of Krishna, understanding their constitutional position. This is the arrangement. If we do not take that opportunity, to understand our constitutional position, what happens? They will entangle. If they do some temporary arrangements, okay, if I do this, this problem will be solved. This is called Sadhyachinitya Animishaya Namostasmai. All of their plans will be cut to the pieces. When we come to Krishna consciousness, then what happens? Gradually, this Kama, Lobha, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, these three will be gradually subsided. When we do not have got any desires, no angry, no greedy, automatically the people who interact with us, they do not reciprocate with the angry or greedy or also with the lust. They will also calm down. And then understanding their position, is it right or not? They will also contemplate. So this is what the reflection goes. It is a practical experience. Otherwise, if one person says something and then we speak something, so that conversations and responses keep going on. It will never ever stop. You do it, and they're pointing to the fingers to each other. Either it is a child or father, husband or wife, anywhere. The conversations, it will only drag into miseries. So being Krishna consciousness, it will settle all kinds of problems in our life. Okay, so that's why here Prabhupada is mentioning, or in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions Modhas. Namam duskritino modaha prapadyante naradamaha maya apurita dhyana asrum bhavam ashritaha. So four kinds of people. Maya apurita dhyana. Namam prapadyante. They do not take this surrender to lotus feet of Krishna. So this is modaha. Modaha naradamaha maya apurita dhyana asurum bhavam. Four kinds of demonic people. Because that mentality is still rise. So that's why Krishna says to aham eva kvachit brahman sanyasashramam ashritaha hari bhaktim grahayami kalu papahatan naran. Chaitanya Maha. This is Krishna says to Vyasadeva in the I think Adi Purana. Oh Vyasadeva, aham eva kvachit brahman. So once oh Vyasadeva, oh Brahmana, once I will take Kvachit Brahman Sanyasasrama Ashitaha. I will take the Sanyasasrama. Krishna says to Vyasadeva. Hari Bhaktim Grahayami. By taking the Hari Bhakti, Kalu Papahatan Naran. I will remove the sins of the Papahatan. I will kill the sinful activities of the people, but not the people themselves, not the bodies of the people, but the sinful activities, the mentality. By what? Hari Bhaktim. This one Krishna says, Hari Bhaktim Grahayami Kalu Papahata Naran. That's why Krishna Vardam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastara Pashadam Yajnehi Sanketana Prayehi Yajantihi Sumedasaha. Krishna comes along with his Parshvadas, like all the devotees, and then spread Krishna consciousness. And here, Krishna Varnam Tusha Akrishnam and Akrishnam. It is not the Krishna. Krishna is the blackish color, not the blackish color, but it is golden color. Yata Rukma Varnam. Yata Pasite Rukma Varnam. This is again mentioned in the Upanishads. And whoever sees that golden form of the Lord, they will be liberated. That is what we see Gauranga form, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form. Hari Bhaktim Grahayami Kalu Papahatan Naran. This is again people who will take that to the Krishna conscious, Sumedasaha. Only the intelligent people will take it. If we see the Krishna consciousness movement, people who are coming to Krishna, they are not ordinary people. Everyone can preach Krishna consciousness, say some shlokas, they will explain the philosophy. And who are taking the initiations? They are not ordinary people. They are the soldiers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are not coming just blindly. They understood the philosophy. They understood the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and spiritual master, authenticity of it. It is not possible for modas to take it. Otherwise, they will go in their own perception. So I'm comfortable in my day-to-day worship of the deities. I got so many deities. I'm a Hindu. We got so many gods, so many festivals. There is no intelligence there. They do not contemplate on the philosophy, and they do not understand the relationship between the gods and Krishna and their duty based on their constitutional position. So here, Krishna Varnam Pisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Pashadam Yajnehi Sanketana Prayehi. This is the Yajnehi Sanketana Prayehi Yajantihi Sumedasaha. This is Sanketana Yajna. Okay, so one has to take that point very strong. Sumedasaha. But one must be intelligent as well to take it. That is the spiritual asset we can give it to children. By giving that one to children and family, that asset, it will never ever deteriorate. Whatever the money if we give, they will eat it and then it will be melted in due course of time. If they are just foolish children, they do not work and then they will melt all the money or the properties and they suffer later on. And their children will grow in the similar kind of nature. We need to give the spiritual asset. Then they will become very responsible child, not only in the society. He will be helpful to everyone else. Krishna conscious, this is called Sarvehi Gunaihi Tatra Samasate Suraha Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagvatya Kinchana Sarvehi Gunaihi Tatra Samasate Suraha. He has got all the good qualities of the demigods within him if he is a devotee of Krishna. But if he is not a devotee of Krishna, then he does not have. He may be having any materialistic qualities, but that does not help him. Hara bhakta kuto bhat gunaha. How can any good qualities would exist if he is not a devotee of Krishna? That's why parents, what they can give, this is the undeteriorated spiritual asset to the children. When the children are being raised in Krishna consciousness, then they will hear to the parents, they will be aligning to the words of the parents, they respect the parents, and by giving the respect to the parents, they will attain more of spiritual nature again. If they are speaking against the parents, they are accumulating so many of sinful activities. And again, we are making the environment hellish for ourselves without giving Krishna consciousness to the children. And we will lose our happiness. Hare Krishna, Jai Ved.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful explanation, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Jai Ved Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. What you said just now, this earlier on, it just so is true. And I feel that in my case, definitely I've missed that boat. But what you said about the children and how you bring them up and how we should all be as an example, definitely, you know, I feel that in many years of my life, I was too much into demigod worship and too much here and there. And it's only now that I'm trying to find out, and that's helping me. But still, I think that I missed the boat. And I'm so happy for all these young parents in our group, Sanchita Mataji, Pavan Prabhu, a young person, Raja Lakshmi Mataji, all of them so happy that they've started so early. And we can see that in the sanghas as well, that, when their children also recite and sing, it's amazing. So it does help. But I know in that, for me, it's a bit late, but my endeavor is still going on. One day I hope that maybe things will change, maybe not in this lifetime, but next lifetime for the souls that I've come across with in my family. But that was just my reflection. What you said was so true, and that we are working like mad for them at the moment. But it doesn't help. The real asset is the knowledge, the Vedic knowledge that we should be giving them, the teachings of Krishna consciousness. But then I do have a question as well about the Lord laying down for 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas, so 1,000 yuga cycles. What was he doing at that time? Was he just like meditating within himself for all the yugas? What was happening at that time? Why was it 1,000? That's slightly I don't understand. Sorry.
Thank you, Mataji. It's 1,000 yuga cycles. It is the Lord's body, and all the living entities, they are in a deep slumber. And Lord is in the yoga nidra. For example, our life. What is our life? Our daytime and night time. We have got 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of nighttime. There is again, when the evening comes, it is slowly sunset and then gradually dark comes. And early morning, again, is the time we wake up. It is the time is ticking. In the similar way, this is one level, the human level. And going to a little bit further, the demigods level. So it is for them 6 months. And then going further up to Brahma. Brahma's day is different. And then coming to the Garbhodak Sai Vishnu, it is 1,000 yuga cycles. It's 1,000 yuga cycles. And his body is so gigantic. Even if we look at, for example, Kumbhakarna, he eats 6 months and he sleeps 6 months because his body is very gigantic according to his body. And here body of Garbhodak Sai Vishnu, it is huge. It is आयामतो विस्तृतः स्वमान देहेन लोकत्रय संग्रहेण विचित्र दिव्याभरणां शुकानां कृतश्यापाशितवेषदेहम्. His body is so huge. We cannot even see. For example, if a small ant on top of our body, if it wanted to see our entire body, it cannot see it. It cannot see it because it is so tiny. We are so huge. And if there is elephant, that ant may think that what is this? It's a big forest, something like. It cannot even understand it is an elephant. Now we are just like that. So, and the body of Garbhodak Sai Vishnu is so huge. And for that purpose, this is 1,000 yuga cycles. This is what I understand from the Bhagavatam. That comes in the later on the shlokas because of his body, and also here he is lying at 1,000 yuga cycles in his internal potency.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So it may be not exactly direct answer, but you will come to know in due course of time. Thank you, Mataji.
No, it's very useful, Prabhuji. Just yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall move on to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Randas Agrawal, January 2nd, 1971, Surat. Can I request Javid Mataji to read the letter, please?
Hare Krishna, yes, thank you. My dear Randas Agrawalji, please accept my greetings. Since I've come to Surat, I've not heard from you. I hope everything is going well with you. Out of the many life members, Maharaj Bharat Singh gave one check numbered 0011644 from the State Bank of Indore, and this is now returned with remark refer to drawer. This is the first time that we got such experience. I am therefore handing over the check which is enclosed. kindly see the Maharaj Bharat Singh, and if he will kindly pay us cash, it will be very much appreciated. In realization of the cash, kindly deposit it in the Central Bank of India, Indore Cloth Market Branch, for mail transfer to the head office in favor of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Please let me know what action you've taken in this connection. You can write our Bombay address as given above. I'm going to Bombay tomorrow. Yours sincerely, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. I think it is.
It's mostly admin. I think this is the first time. So, he's very happy that there are all these life members, and out of one of them, Maharaj Bharat Singh, who became a life member, must have donated a lot of money, but one of them happens to be this check, which it looks like maybe bounced according to our terms here. So he obviously wants the check to be returned and instead to be paid in cash, which they can then deposit quickly and then make use of it in Krishna consciousness and use that money properly and propagate it properly. But obviously he wants everything to be done properly, because if it's handled in cash, then you need to be careful and you can't just leave it lying around. It has to be deposited straight away. So it's just paying attention to that, thank you for the money, but please kindly pay it in cash if you can. And then he's just saying that I just would like to hear from you more. If you can, write to me. So I have not heard from you for a long time. I don't know what his role is. Maybe obviously a higher authority, so he wants to know from him as well. And maybe he's also gathering more life members. I'm not sure what his role is, but it's important that Prabhupada wants his association and to know from him regularly. So I don't know if there's anything more. Please, Prabhuji, if there's anything that you can put in as well.
Hare Krishna Mataji, you did very nicely explained. Okay, there is not much to say on this letter. So it is admin thing. Yes, again, here you can see only the life members. Okay, bring people into life members of the Krishna Consciousness Society, then they will be benefited. Thank you, Mataji. Any other comments, dear devotees? Sometimes we may give some charity to the temple. I wanted to give it for the donation, for the food, for the cows, or for book distribution. And then, but temple may be saying that, okay, so you're giving, thank you so much, but money, once money means it is money. We cannot discriminate, okay, this money, this 10 pounds, that 10 pounds, something like that. And this, it would be utilized for the purpose of the temple. The temple has got all these varieties of the activities. So we need to understand that part. They would mention in the charities, in the websites, that it may be utilized for the similar purpose wherever it is needed in an emergency. So that should be all right. Everything is in Krishna consciousness, but it is with what heart we are giving. Okay, that matters only to us. And once it goes out, it is for Krishna's hands. He knows how to handle it. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, and from the announcements point of view, again, from tomorrow onwards, our activities would continue from teachings of Lord Chaitanya and everything else. And we don't have any events today evening, as per the online Zoom Sangha. And dear devotees, if you have got any updates, if there are any activities are going on Krishna consciousness, you wanted to share anything, kindly do so. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. Thank you for today's session. Yeah, there is actually wanted to tell about there is one event in Manor next week related to George Harrison. I think it's on 29th. Yeah, I'll just post in the group. Anyone would like to join that.
It's a free event as well, so it's nice.
Yeah, the free event, and everyone can book the ticket online before showing up over there. So yeah, I'll put the link in the group.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other updates? Otherwise, we shall move on to the next part, is Ramayana. Okay, so we shall move into Ramayana. Now we are with Ramachandra, Lakshmana, and Sita, and seeing and trying to understand the movements of Rama. Movements of Rama is called Ayana, means movements. Ramayana means movements of Ramachandra based on the time, place, and circumstances, how Rama would act. That is going to be our lessons, how we can act within the circumstances. So here in the last session in the Ramayana, so this is part of the Ravanasra side. He's contemplating how to steal Sita Devi, and he was inspired by Akampana. And then later on, Ravanasra went to the northern regions of Bharatadesha, where in the Himalaya mountains, Maricha demon. Previously, he was a demon, and he is the son of Tataka demon. And then when he was disturbing the Vishwamitra's sacrifices, and Vishwamitra asked help of Dasharatha Maharaj to send his two children, Rama and Lakshmana. During that time, Rama, he has killed one of the child of Tataka demon, and then another child is Maricha, and then Maricha, he was thrown into so many miles away by the Rama's powerful arrow. And later on, he was also taking the different kinds of forms, like the Sharabha. Sharabha is an animal which also hunt the lions, as we have seen in the last session. That Sharabha here assumed a form of Sharabha, and then which is a fierce 8-legged carnivorous beast capable of killing even lions. So, and then he was trying to devour Ramachandra in his hermitage. But here Rama, again, in an instant, Rama had lifted and strung his bow, releasing 3 gold-tipped arrows, which sped thunder like thunderbolts. Maricha's 2 companions were killed outright. Maricha himself had dodged the arrows and retreated in fear. He then decided to abandon his life of antagonizing rishis and retired to the mountains. Now Maricha became a saintly person. So he's a demon, but he renounced all of his these activities, antagonizing rishis. Now he is in peaceful. Now Ravanasura, he went to the Maricha to ask, because Maricha knows he can change the forms. He can change his form to like Sharaba or a deer, something like some of the mystic powers. So he wants to take the help of Maricha so that he can steal Sita Devi. But Maricha has given this information to Ravanasura. Don't go to Rama. Don't look at him. You just sport yourself with your wives in Lanka. Let Rama be free in the forest. But Ravanasura, he went back. Okay, and then so likewise he concluded that's Maricha, and then Ravanasura has gone back. Now we shall continue reading from here. And then later on, Surpanaka comes again. She will instigate Ravanasura. Again, Ravanasura could not tolerate, and then again he goes to Maricha. That one we would see further. Can I request devotees take a turn to read each devotee 2 paragraphs? Can I request Asha Mataji to read first 2 paragraphs, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Concluding his speech, Marisha said, "My fear of Rama has made me adopt this life of asceticism. Indeed, I live in continuous dread of that prince. In every tree, I see Rama, dead in barks and wielding his bow, looking like death person, personified, standing with nose in hand. I actually see thousands of Ramas all around me. Indeed, this whole forest appears to have turned into Rama. I see him everywhere, even in dreams and meditations. If someone speaks out of word beginning with R, I shall with I shake with terror. O king, under no circumstances shall I be confessed to again stand before Rama. Ravana sat silently after Maricha stopped speaking. Out of pride, the Rakshasa king still felt capable of dealing with Rama. He was not going to be afraid of mere human. However, seeing Maricha's reluctance to assist him, he decided to return to Lanka and avoid another opportunity. He felt, sh- he felt sure that his path would soon cross with Rama's. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here, Maricha Demon is reflection. It is so beautiful. It is mentioning here, he is seeing Rama everywhere. So I think someone has copied this movement put it as a song. Antaramayam, ye Jagamantaramamayan. So something like that is one beautiful song also composed. I think it comes in some Telugu movie. Here, Ravana, this Maricha demon, he is seeing Rama everywhere. He is not daring to see at any point, even by the first name R, Ra, he shake with the terror. Okay, so now he is very reluctant to get convinced by Ravanasura's words. But Ravanasura, he still felt capable of dealing with Rama. But for the moment, he has give up. He decided to return to Lanka and await another opportunity. He felt sure that this path would soon cross with Rama's. Okay, that is Ravanasura's mood. And then for that moment, Ravanasura gave up that idea. We'll look in the future. Okay. And we shall move on for the next two paragraphs. Can I request Gaurangi Mataji to read next two paragraphs, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Three paragraph Prabhuji.
Two paragraphs, Mataji.
Soon after he arrived back at Lanka, Surpankha visited him as he sat atop his seven-storied palace, surrounded by his ministers. His sister came and fell at his feet, wailing piteously. She rolled about on the ground. She looked up at Ravana, who sat on his golden throne, glowing like a fire fed with um, abundant fuel. His hawk black-skinned body was covered by celestial robes, uh, adorned with jeweled ornaments taken from the gods. His 20 arms, which could arrest the movement of the planet, looked like great tree trunks. They were marked by scar met by Indra's thunder, thunderbolt and the other weapons of the gods. He started down at Surpankha with his 20 reddish eyes. Ravana told his sister to get up and ask her why she was uh, lamenting. Surpankha, displaying her multi-talent, multi, multi mutilated face, answered him harshly. Do you do you not see my disfigured face? What kind of protector are you, O king? I am a helpless woman and your sister, but I have been humiliated at the hands of a man. Do you not care for this, O powerful Rakshasa? Hare
Great. Great. Thank you, Mataji. So now Ravanasra has returned and now into the Lanka. Now, once he comes there, Surpanaka again, she visited. And then again giving some kind of opulence of Lanka here, how Ravanasra is situated, surrounded by ministers. And then, so in front of, while everyone ministers in the assembly and that seven-storied palace, while everyone were watching, and his body is also being described here with his 20 arms, and he is so powerful. And one thing here, there were there were marked by scars made by Indra's thunderbolt and other weapons of the gods. It is kind of a qualification. Sometimes when other person is going to the fight, when I went to this fight, this is the score it happened. So, but here, to show off, here Ravanasra is having such kind of scars, one by thunderbolt and Vishnu Sudarsana Chakra, something like that. It is kind of a pride for him that he has fought with the demons, with the demigods. Okay, so later on, he's looking at Surpanaka, and his eyes are reddish, and then he is asking why she is lamenting. And Surpanaka now she has opened her the sari from on top of her, I think, the head. So until then, displaying her mutilated face, answered him harshly, "Do you not see my disfigured face? What kind of protector are you, O king? I am a helpless woman and your sister, but I have been humiliated at the hands of a man. Do you not care for this, O powerful Rakshasa?" So now Surpanaka is kind of speaking harshly to Ravanasara. And here, before this event, Surpanaka's her husband is Dutima. So I think under the name of that he was deviating plans to occupy the kingdom, Ravanasara killed the husband of Surpanaka. So now Surpanaka later on she was lamenting, and then Ravana says, "I will find a good husband for you." So this is again there is further stories between Ravana and Surpanaka. Now Surpanaka she went to that Pancha what what is that place? Is that Panchavati?
Chitra? No.
Panchavati. Chitrakoot is in the Uttar Pradesh. That is there. They stayed for less than 6 months or so. But here Panchavati. They stayed there for over 12 years. And then Surpanaka went there and then looked at Ramachandra, and then she wanted to have Rama as her husband. And now, but she could not do it by herself. She was mutilated by Lakshmana. Now she is coming to Ravanasara, and then Ravanasara once promised, "I'll get a good husband for you." But that has not taken place. Now she is now a bit harsh as well. He has killed her husband as well. So few things goes, because sometimes the entire story, when we are reading, we may not see everything in one particular context. If we look at a bigger picture, this kind of things, they are in the heart. They may not speak at the right point of time, but it is in the heart, deeply rooted. Based on those things, she is also speaking a bit harshly with her brother Ravanasura. Now Ravanasura, he is surrounded by the ministers. Now it is a kind of prestige for him. The Rakshasi shook with fear and anger as she continued to address the demon king, even reviles a monarch who is licentious. Okay, I request the devotees. Can I request Hangma Mataji to read the next 3 paragraphs? It's a small paragraphs, please.
Hare Krishna. The Rakshasi shook with fear and anger as she continued to address the demon king. Everyone reviles a monarch who is licentious and overly attached to sensual enjoyment. Such a king who fails to properly attend to his state affairs is soon ruined. O Ravana, are you not aware that you are losing control of your territories? Having formed enmity with the gods and the Brahmins, how can you expect to rest here in peace, enjoying the pleasures of life? You are childish and without any intelligence. You do not know what should be done and will therefore lose your kingdom before long. Hearing such a searing rebuke in the midst of his ministers enraged Ravana. Short tempered and intolerant, he replied angrily, "Tell me who has attacked you, wretched woman. Why are you afraid?" Surpanakha told Ravana what had happened. She also described to him Rama's annihilation of the Rakshasas exactly as Ravana had already heard it from Akampana. Ravana's curiosity about Rama was aroused. He said, "Tell me more about Rama. Why is he living in the forest? What is his strength and his weakness? How has he overpowered the unassailable Khara, Dushana, and Trishira?" Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Mataji. So here Surpanaka mentioned that so I have been humiliated by at the hands of a man. Do you not care for this, O powerful Rakshasa? And after saying that, if you do not look after your subjects properly, then your kingdom will be ruined. Straight away she mentioned to Ravanasara. And you have made enmity by fighting with the gods and Brahmins. You have formed that enmity. And now how can you live? So this statement is correct. If you make a enmity with the gods and the Brahmins, how can you expect to rest here in peace, enjoying the pleasures of life? So most of the Ramayana statement, either a good person speaks or bad person speaks. We could understand the circumstances. This statement is right, even the Surpanaka is saying. If you make Brahmin as your enemy, then you cannot live properly. Nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu. A devotee of Krishna, Nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu. And Kapil Bhagavan describes that one of the statement in the Bhakti Yoga. One should not have envious with any living entity at all. It doesn't matter if it is snake or cat or dog or anything. Even though he is enemy also, real enemy also, one should not have envious nature towards them. One should manasaitani bhutani pranamed bahumanayan. One should always understand that Lord is in the heart of all the living entities. They are acting according to their nature. It is not as a soul. Everyone is pure. But here they are acting according to the nature they have attained. Okay, so here Kapil Bhagavan describes that one. That one should not have envious nature to anyone. Again, one of the statement of Diti Maharani, she means na brahmadanda dagdasya na bhota bhaidasya cha narkashanu gruhnanti yam yam yoni masogataha. Diti Maharani says that during the time of Kashyap Prajapati and Diti, they have met in the inappropriate time. Even though my children are demons, but they should never come in contact by the wrath of Brahmana, anger of Brahmana. Na Brahmadanda Dagdasya, na Bhota Bhaidasya cha, and it should not be any fearful people if they come under wrath of a Brahmana and if they are fearful to the other living entities. If they are fearful to the other living entities. And wherever they take a birth later on, even their family members do not adore them. Narakashanu gruhnanti yam yam yonim asau vrajatha. So it is described by Kapil Bhagavan. It is in the third canto, 14th chapter, where it is described by Maitreya Muni is mentioning about describing the pastimes of Kashyapa and Aditi. Vidura, same Maitreya was speaking to Vidura. Okay, so this is one should not have any peace at all if he makes envious witness with the gods and Brahmins. And you are childish and without any intelligence, you do not know what should be done, and will therefore lose your kingdom before long. This is also true. So Surpanaka is already saying the truth. You do not know what should be done and will therefore lose your kingdom before long. Okay, even though she is a demoness, but she spoke. Now, Ravanasura hearing such a sneering rebuke in the midst of his ministers enraged Ravana, short-tempered and intolerant. He replied angrily, "Tell me who has attacked you, wretched woman. Why are you afraid?" So he's saying, wretched woman. One should not insult women at all in front of that kind of assembly. But king may be tolerating, but he should maintain his prestige according to his position as a king. But here, Surpanaka is a woman and also his sister and subject. But he should be with tolerant, but he is not tolerant. He's a short-tempered. So how can he maintain his kingdom and how can he maintain his position? So again, he is asking, why are you afraid? Then Surpanaka told Ravana that what has happened about how so many of these Karan, Dhoshna, 14,000 demons were killed by Rama alone, and which was already narrated by Akampana. Now Ravanasura's curiosity aroused, and also he is asking, what is the strength of Rama? What is his weakness? And how he has overpowered all the unassailable Kara, Dhoshana, and Trishira, and all the demoniac people. So likewise, he's trying to understand the situation now. Okay, so now he has heard from Akampana, he has heard from Maricha, now he is hearing from again Surpanaka. So now three different sources to hear about Ramachandra. Okay, and before that also he has heard about Ramchandra and but he did not focus on that side. Okay, now it is becoming more intense. Okay, we shall move on. Can I request next Pawan Prabhuji to read next two paragraphs, please?
Hey, Krishna Prabhuji, sure. After telling Ravana that Rama had been sent to the forest by his father, Surpanaka described how she had personally witnessed Rama's power. I could not see when Rama took up his arrows or bent his bow, which shone brightly like a rainbow. I only saw the Rakshasa army falling like hewn trees. The demons resembled a wheat field destroyed by a downpour of hailstones. I also saw by Rama's side his brother Lakshman. He too seems exceptionally glorious and is clearly devoted to Rama. Indeed, he appears like Rama's second self. I hold these two brothers to be practically unconquerable in battle. Shurpanaka as a Rakshasi possessed celestial intelligence, like Kampana, she was able to recognize Rama's power. Although she did not understand his identity, she spoke cunningly, wanting to incite her brother to confront Rama. I saw by Rama's side his beloved wife Sita, whose beauty is hard to describe. Her dark eyes and hair contrast vividly with the hue and luster of her body, which resembles molten gold. Her breasts, hips, and thighs are exquisitely shaped, and she shines like another goddess Lakshmi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Now, here, after telling Ravana, and Rama had been sent to the forest by his father. Now, Surpanaka is describing how she had personally witnessed Rama's power. So sometimes, generally, women they have got little bit more intelligence than men, of course, in a different context. So women generally they are the emotionally driven, and men are logically driven. So sometimes, if we see why a man is getting married to women, it is again we see the maturity in the woman. It goes very fast. They understand very quickly. But either they may see logic or not logic, but they will sense it. There is something behind it. So here it is Surpanaka as Rakshasi possessed celestial intelligence as well. Okay, so we'll come to that point as well. So now she is describing she could not see when Rama took up his arrows or bent his bow, which shone brightly like a rainbow. I only saw the Ravana army falling like a hewn prince. That is the way how fast Rama uses his arrows to kill the demons. Again, there is the glories of Ramabhana. How there is no opposite to the Ramabhana. Okay, likewise, describing and also Lakshmana also been described like a Lakshmana is a second Rama. He appears to like a Rama's second self. I hold these two brothers to be practically unconquerable in battle. So they both have, though they're supreme personality of Godhead, both of them. One is the enjoyer and the one is the servant personality of Godhead and the enjoying personality of Godhead. Both are one, but their features are different. Again, we go into the Prakasha Vilasa Vigrahas that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. One is the Prakasha and another one is the Vilasa. Prakasha means Lord expands himself in his own forms, in multiple forms, but features are also the same. When he expands himself with different features, like a Krishna expands as a Balaram, and Krishna expands as Lakshmana, and different personalities with different body and features. It is called the Vilasa Vigrahas. Okay, so here it is the point is Lakshmana is appears like a Rama's second self. And then further, Surpanaka also, she has got a celestial intelligence. So these demonic people, sometimes we see she also meditated and she also got some boons from Lord Brahma. I think Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, and Surpanaka, they also performed these meditations to please Lord Brahma before. Okay, but their meditations were for material things, not for spiritual cause. Okay, so here Akampana, whatever Akampana was able to recognize Rama's power, same thing. Now she is explaining more, but she spoke cunningly. She spoke cunningly, wanting to incite her brother to confront Ramachandra. So this is very, very important thing. Important thing means how she is speaking, the cunning nature. And when in the Yaksha Prasnas, whenever Yudhishthira was questioned by the Yaksha or the in the shape of a crane. So actually it is Yamadharmaraja was in the form of a crane and he introduces himself as a Yaksha and then he is asking Yudhishthira number of questions so that Yudhishthira can revive his brothers lying unconscious, who are lying unconscious by drinking the water in a pond. Okay, this is part of Mahabharata. So he asks, so can you tell me what is very difficult to understand? What is deep in this world? Yudhishthira answers, it is the heart of a woman. So what is in the heart of a woman? It is very difficult to understand, even though he is a husband or anyone. They have got a very deep thing. They keep that such kind of things in the heart. They act in a different way, and in order to fulfill their desires. So here she spoke cunningly, wanting to incite her brother to confront Rama. And what is her desire? And initially she wanted to have Rama as her husband. That is one thing. And for that one, Sita was in between, and also on top of that, she was mutilated by Lakshmana and Rama. So many things are there, and somewhere or other, she wanted to take revenge. That is her desire. She wanted to take her, and that one, she's inciting Ravanasura. That revenge needs to come through Ravanasura, but she does not disclose her revenge. Okay, so I saw by Rama's side, his beloved wife Sita, whose beauty is hard to describe. Her dark eyes and hair contrast vividly with the hue and luster of her body, which resembles molten gold. And describing her bodily features, she is just like another goddess Lakshmi. Yes, this is true. And what is here? What she wanted? Why she is doing? That is very important. That's a cunning nature. Okay, we shall move on. What further she is speaking? Okay, can I request Brother Sachimataji to read the next two paragraphs, please?
Thank you, Shloji. Surpanaka knew that her brother was lost too. He had absolutely no regard for moral laws and took pleasure in the enjoying other wives. The Rakshasa went on the describing Sita. Her countenance is like the full moon, with her thin waist and delicate limbs. Sita is beyond compare. I have seen no woman like her on the face of the earth. Be she a goddess, Gandharva, or a Yaksha. Any man embraced with the delight by Sita will enjoy a happiness greater than that of the Indra. Without doubt, that the peerless female who is of a gentle disposition will be worthy consort for you, O king of demons. Ramana's mind was captivated by her description. He considered how he might win her. Arrogantly, he assumed that she would be attracted to him, the great and powerful king of the Rakshasas. But how could she been taken from Rama? Ravana was beginning to think that he needed to exercise caution in his approach to Rama. He listened as his sister continued. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So now, Surpanaka, she understands that the nature of Ravanasura. So now her desire is different. She wants to take revenge on Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita. Now she is inciting, explaining that he had absolutely no regard for moral laws and took pleasure in enjoying others' wives. This is Ravanasura's nature. He doesn't see the relationships also. Once even Ravanasura's brother Kuvera. Kuvera's children are Manigriva and Nalakuvara. I think it is the Nalakuvara's wife is the Rambha. And then Ravanasura molested her. And later on, Nalakuvara, he cursed him that if you just go on inside, if you go on force any woman, immediately your head will burst into the pieces. He cursed him. Okay, and then from that point onwards, he never forced any woman. If women are coming by themselves, then he used to enjoy. But here, Ravanasura, In other way, Ramba was daughter-in-law to Ravanasara. So he molested her. So that is his nature. Knowing that here Surpanaka, she is now went on describing about Sita here. Her countenance is like the full moon, and then describing her bodily beauty. And whoever is being embraced by Sita, they will enjoy happiness greater than that of Indra. Without doubt, that peerless female who is of a gentle disposition would be worthy consort for you, O king. Now, she is explaining all these things that in such a way that she is doing a favor to Ravanasara. She is doing a favor to Ravanasara. Now, Ravanasara's mind is being captivated by her descriptions. And now he is considering how he might win her, and arrogantly he assumed that she would be attracted to him. And then thinking that Sita would like that Ravanasara may be handsome or great powerful king like that. How could she be taken from Rama then? So Ravanasara is thinking. And then he needed to exercise caution in his approach to Rama. So he listened as his sister continued. Now, what is going to happen? Let us continue and see. Okay, can I request next Jayaved Mataji to read the next two paragraphs, please?
Hare Krishna, yes, thank you. I wanted to snatch away Sita and bring her to you, O brother, but I was viciously attacked by the wicked and cruel-minded Lakshman. No one but you, O mighty king, will be capable of taking Sita from Rama. Surely she should be your wife. Why not go to the forest? Why not go the forest and see her wondrous beauty for yourself? Shurpankhar longed for revenge. Sita was the cause of her being mutilated. The Rakshasa woman wanted the princess to be taken from Rama so that both Rama and Sita would feel intolerable pain. Perhaps then Ravana would be able to overpower the grief-stricken Rama. Shurpankha gazed imploringly at her brother. Snatch away the incomparable Sita from Ram. Then, standing in the forefront of battle, defeat and kill that human along with his evil brother. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, here, Surpanaka is saying, I wanted to snatch away Sita and bring her to you, O brother. So, here, Surpanaka is doing thing only for the sake of Ravanasara. In such a way, she is speaking. But I was viciously attacked by the wicked and cruel-minded Lakshman. So no one but you, O mighty king, will be capable of taking Sita from Rama. Now all her problem, all her revenge made into Ravana's problem. And surely she should be your wife. Why not go to the forest and see her wondrous beauty for yourself? Now she has transferred all of her revenge, all of her anger, and all of her problem as Ravana's problem. No, Ravana's is going to be dead. What it means to us? It is not Surpanaka or just Ravanasura. We deal with people in this world. When we go and speak people with different kinds of stuff, material stuff, what they wanted to do, they will tell us in indirectly that I'm buying a house here. Why don't you buy? And then they will make at the moment until that point, people are happy living with their home and family. Other people say, why don't you buy and spend money here and then start your new business? And immediately he also started struggling and working hard, accumulating money and getting that. And then later on, he will struggle to pay the mortgages and bills. And then struggles to work hard in the offices. So until that point, where these diseases are coming? Why we are agitated by different personalities in the society? Because, and also one is going through, that is one angle. When people are suffering in this material world, getting married and having the children, and some other people will come, why don't you get married? If you're a bachelor, get married, and then you see your movie on yourself, by yourself, go through the struggles. Again, this is the nature. of the people of this material world. But when we surrender out to the Guru, then he says that do not associate with any woman unless you have got desires personally, which are not inspired by the other people. Other people will say so many things. Apart from that, do you have got something else which is in your heart? If you are in the Brahmacharya ashrama, if you are able to sustain as a brahmachari, you live like that. Utilize all the time for the devotional service. If you are not able to control the senses and you wanted to enter into Grihastha that is fine. Then take the blessings of the Guru and enter into Guru Ashrama and accept your Samana Selam Gruhameda Denu, the woman who should be equivalent to the qualities as you like, as it matches your qualities. Accept it and live in Krishna conscious life, and then gradually you will also be live for 25 years grihastha again 25 years again detaching. It was so you accept, and but what happens the 50 years of time you are spending half of your life for just sacrificing for the family, just because you have got a desire to get married, because you cannot control the senses. So likewise, in our society, many people will inspire us. This is the material world, and we should not be agitated by those desires. But actually, what we wanted, we know, only we know that. It is not some people are telling us. Okay, so here the Surpanaka's inner heart, she wanted to take revenge, longed for revenge. Surpanaka longed for revenge. She was the cause of her being mutilated. And Rakshasa woman wanted the princess to be taken from Rama so that both Rama and Sita would feel intolerable pain. That is what Surpanaka wanted to see. Perhaps Ravana would be able to overpower the grief-stricken Rama. Surpanaka gazed imploringly at her brother. See, this is the nature of other people, how they wanted to take. One can see when you're who is not Krishna conscious devotee, you do not have to think. Vishnu Bhakta Smrta Daiva Asuraha Tad Viparyayaha. Anyone who is devotee of Vishnu, he is a Deva or Daiva. Vishnu Bhakta Smrta Daiva Asuraha Tad Viparyayaha. Everyone apart from the devotees of Vishnu. Asuraha Tad Viparyayaha. Opposite number is Asura. They will have such kind of qualities. You may practically come in your life. You can simply observe it. Okay, so here Surpanaka is gazed imploringly at her brother Ravanasara. Now snatch away the incomparable Sita from Rama. Then standing in the forefront of the battle, defeat and kill that human along with his evil brother. Now all things said by here itself, she has put Ravanasara in the center point. Okay, so can I request Busha Mataji to read the last paragraph, Mataji? Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Busha Mataji.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Ravana was convinced Ram's killing of the Rakshasa army in Janasthana. Now here was his own sister, disfigured and humiliated by the other human brothers. Ravana took that personally. He especially could not tolerate the sharp and taunting words Surpanka delivered in front of his ministers. He had to prove his power, and above all, he wanted to have Sita. Thinking again of Maricha, he called for his chariot. This time he would not be deterred from his purpose. Maricha's refusal to help him was unacceptable. Ravana mounted his great chariot and rose up swiftly into the sky. Hare Krishna, thank you for this.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Now, Ravana was somewhere other was convinced, and he was already angered by Rama's killing of the Rakshasa army in one side, and now here was his sister also disfigured and humiliated by the human brothers. Second problem, Ravana took that one personally, and also he could not tolerate the sharp and taunting words Surpanaka delivered in front of his ministers. Now it is his prestige, the three things. And also, another thing is he wanted to take Sita, and he wanted to prove his brother, his power. Fourth thing, above all, he wanted to have Sita. Fifth thing, and now, based on these points, now he is uh, determined to take somewhere other Sita. Thinking again of Maricha, he called for his chariot, and time he would not be deterred from his purpose. Maricha's refusal to help him was unacceptable. Of course, Maricha gave good instructions to Ravanasra for his good purpose. At the time, he did not have a very strong reason, just only the some demons were killed. And then Maricha's good instruction, so it overpowered Ravanasra's decision. Now, Ravanasra is now having many other purposes. So now Ravanasra is going to again Maricha to get help from him. Okay, so that is how Ravanasra is now determined to take Sita from Ramachandra. Okay, so that is where we stop, and I request dear devotees, if you have got any questions or you wanted to share anything, what is happening here, and what is our reflections, how we are going to live in our day-to-day life, how it is practical. If you have got any questions or you wanted to share anything, or if anything which is taking your mind, kindly share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
From this chapter, I would say like Supanaka's behavior, demonstrated, and it's a good lesson for us how not to live. So it's completely opposite to the good. So his evil mind, and then how she's changing the words to agitate his brother, and then all those is like Rakshas Tattva. So that is how not to live. So it is clearly showing that what happens if someone follows that negative route. So it's end of destruction. So yeah, it's clearly good message. How not to live in the life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, any other comments, dear devotees? Rajalakshmi Mataji, you wanted to share?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah. Here it is a very good message, okay, not to get attracted for the women's. Okay, so even though her sister has provoked him, Ravana should have just acted differently. But actually, okay, Supanaka with her evil thoughts and as a Rakshasa Pravurti, she just turned all her problem as the Ravana's problem, which made him okay a lot of issues with, and also he ended up fighting with the divine Rama for sake of Sita. So it is a kind of okay. Even in our society, okay, quite few people provoke us. Okay, with they may appear okay like in one with some color coated, but their thoughts and maybe actions and what they are thinking might be different. So when those kind of people are provoking us, we have to be very careful, not only for the women's sake. I'm saying okay, either in work or everywhere, okay, some political people will be there, so we have to be very careful and cautious, and maybe better to avoid those kind of people's association. If Krishna is just making any person away from us, means that is a blessing for us, because maybe those are not good for our soul and those are not good for our mind. So that's why okay, as part of regulative principles, good association, devotees association is the key point, so that we don't get all these negative vibes, and also okay, unnecessary rubbish from this material world. So it gives those two aspects of messages. Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very beautiful points, Mataji. Thank you for highlighting those. Okay, Hangma Mataji, would you like to share anything, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. So, thank you. In the very beginning, you had mentioned that Ramayana, it's like Rama and Aina. So you were saying that it mirrors the actions of Rama, and I didn't know that it was, the meaning was like that, and it's so good to know that actually it translates to that, and actually we all should try to live like how Lord Rama lived, like how he was so honorable, how he always followed his duty, and gave so much importance to family and the relationships, and how he was always so calm and always so compassionate, even when he was facing so much difficulties. And I think that's all the lesson that we can learn on how we should be living, and it's so wonderful to learn more about him. And yeah, that's for today, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the session.
Okay, thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, Ayana, we also have Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, the movements of the sun towards the northern direction or southern direction. Rama Ayana, movements of Ramachandra based on the circumstances. Okay, this is for our lessons, how we can lead in our life. Thank you so much, Mataji. Rightly catch the cut. Okay. Can I request Asha Mataji, any questions or any sharings or anything striking the mind? Hey Krishna, Asha Mataji.
Nothing. I'm learning and listening. When Madaji's asked questions, so I had the same questions. I got the answers, Prabhu, from you. Thank you.
Yeah, but still you can ask the same question in a different angle, Mataji. So you might be knowing many of those pastimes from Lanka there. You could share some of those things, how people act.
When I was in Sri Lanka, Prabhu, all my childhood, all my life was in the. We spent time in war only. We were displacing one place to another. There was no God conscious or Krishna consciousness in my life there. So I never been to that Sita Mata's place or any other places related to Ramayana in Sri Lanka.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that information. Okay, we shall move on to the devotees. Hare Krishna, Gauringi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Wanted to share anything on the Surpanaka's nature and Ravanasura's nature and the current circumstances and Ramayana.
Nothing, Prabhuji. Surpanka is coming to Ravana and Lakshmana. So she saw the Ram, then she attracted with Ramachandra. So I heard that Prabhuji. Then he went to Lord Ramchandra. Then Lakshmana make angry. After that, he cut his nose, isn't it, Prabhuji? After that, he going to with Ravana. Then he lying to Ravana with Ravana Ram did this, Lakshman did this. Yes, Prabhuji. I know that, Prabhuji. Then other thing is I can respond, Prabhuji. Sorry about that.
No, nothing. It is very beautiful to hear you, Mataji. So here, one point, Surpanaka, she has instigated Ravanasura and made her problem, and that's it. We would not hear Surpanaka's role from that point onwards. What happened to Surpanaka? She went to the Pushkara Kshetra in the uh, later on Pushkara Kshetra, where she meditated on Lord Shiva, and she got a boon from Lord Shiva that she wanted to have Rama as her husband. And then later on, Lord Shiva says that it is not possible in this life. You will taken in the next life as you Rama as your husband. At the time, she take birth as the Kubja and serving in the Kamsa's palace as the preparing of different kinds of sandalwood pastes and perfumes like that. Later on, she meet Krishna and Balarama in the Madura, and then Krishna blessed her, and then Kubja, her body was bent in the three parts of her body, and Krishna made her straight and so beautiful, and then she pleased Krishna, and then Krishna gave benediction to her, and then she became one of the gopi in the Goloka Vrindavan, Chandramukhi. Surpanaka's life because she wanted to have Rama as her husband, and she became her life was perfect. And here Ravanasura, he is the one of the associate of Lord as Jaya and Vijaya. So Hiranyashipu and Hiranyaksha, Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna, Sisupala, and Dantavakra. And Ravanasura, he is not doing any of course he is doing sinful activities, but he would not carry it for the next life. Everything will be finished by touch of the Lord. Either Rama is going to kill Ravanasura, or Narasimhadev kills Hiranyakshipu, or Varahadev kills Hiranyaksha, and also Lord kills Kumbhakarna, Lord kills Sisipala and Dantavakra. They do not carry the sinful activities next lives. And by performing all these pastimes and what it Lord wanted to teach us, do not fall into these sinful activities. Surpanaka gone to Goloka, Ravanasura goes back to again to Vaikuntha, and Vibhishana became a devotee, all associating with the Rama, and also many people who participated from the Rama side, all the monkeys, they also got a liberation. They simply acted on for the Rama's purpose. And why this is called Bhavityesa Satvena Lokan Loka Bhavanaha. Leelavatanaruto Devtarik Naradishu. And Lord takes Bhavityesa Satvena for his devotee's sake. He will perform Leela, different Leelas, and then come into this material world like the Mashya, Kurma, so many incarnations for the sake of devotees, not for something different purpose. He wanted to enjoy just for himself. It is for the sake of his devotees. Bhavyatya satyenu lokanvai loka bhavanaha leelavatanarto devatirik naradishu. He takes different forms. For our sake, we are conditioned here. He wanted to take us back to the spiritual world. For that purpose, he performs all these things. He sends his devotees, his Pashudas, Jaya and Vijaya. They're simply doing their duty. Why they should come here as a demonic people here? That is the will of the Lord. It is Sapo Maiva Nimitaha Tadavet Vipraha. And whenever the four Kumaras are cursing the Jaya and Vijaya, and they thought that we have cursed them. Four Kumaras thought, and Jaya and Vijaya, they thought that they have done mistake. And then they were saying they fall. Tetam Tesham Mitimirita Avdharya Ghoram Tam Brahma Dandam Anivaram Astra Pugahim Hare Aru Hare Anucharu Guru Bibetatat Pada Grahu Apapatam Atikatarena. Jay and Vijay immediately they fall on the lotus feet of the four Kumaras. They are cursing them. Because that is the nature of Vaikuntha. They do not take any serious thing. Immediately fall on the feet of the Brahmana. And Brahmanas thought that they have cursed them. And they admit that Yenagasu Vayam Ajakshmihi Kilbhishena. This Jaya and Vijaya, they are innocent people. They are simply doing their duty. We unnecessarily cursed these innocent people. They have admitted later on. And later on, Lord says that Sapo Maiva Nimitaha Tadavet Vipraha. This is my arrangement. येतौ तौ सुरेतरगतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्यः सम्भ्रम्भ समृद्ध समाधि अनुबद्ध योगौ. They will be taking as an enemies in this world, and this is Sambhramba Sambrita Samadhi Anubadha Yoga. This is also Sambhramba. It is the yoga. They're always connecting to Lord, but in the nature of enemies. But it is Sapo Mayaiva. By this Sapa, this arrangement is by my will. This is already decided previously. Yetat Pureva Nirdishtam Ramya Krudhya Yada Pura Pavarita Vishinti Mayuparate. And this is already foretold by Goddess of Fortune that once Lakshmi Devi went to outside of the Vaikuntha palace, and when she was returning back, at the time Jay and Vijay, they stopped her. And then Lakshmi Devi foretold that Pura Pavarita Bhari Vishanti Mayuparati. At the time I was sleeping in the palace. Yetat Pureva Nirdishtam Ramaya Krudhaya Yadha. And Rama Devi was a bit angry on them. Krudhaya. And then she foretold that they will be out of Vaikuntha for some time because of they have stopped her. And then this was decided, and Lord orchestrated that pastimes. And here Lord will come as Ramchandra, Narsimhadeva, Varahadeva, Krishna, Balaram, so many incarnations. Leela Avataranato Devatirik Naradishu. For the sake of what? To bring the conditioned souls back to the Vaikuntha Loka, back to Godhead. And here we are ignoring all the Lord's pastimes, and we are very busy in accumulating the money, sending the children to the schools and making them study very hard, even though they don't like it sometimes. And we wanted to be one of these social customs. We wanted to be like good citizens of the country. But actually, it is not good citizens of the country. We wanted to be good souls of the spiritual kingdom and to serve the Lord. Okay, so this is, it goes on. Thank you so much, Karingi Mataji. Okay, Mrida Sachi Mataji, would you like to share anything from your reflections, anything striking your mind? Mrida Sachi Mataji and Jayaved Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. I learned one thing today, and I have a question. So you did mention about the two types of vigrahas, the Prakash and Vilasa, and the difference between them. So I learned more about it today. You have, in all honesty, you have mentioned it before, but because you reiterated it today, it went in a bit more. So just to give an example, the Prakash Vigraha you have mentioned before, and we've covered in the Krishna book as well, about Krishna with his 16,000 queens, how he's with the same form, at the same time he's with everyone, and same with the Leela, the Ras dance that he does, same form with all the gopis. So that's the difference. And the Vilas Vigraha is different. So same, different features. So like Balaram, Lakshman, even though they are Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are in different forms. And the bodily hue would also be different. So thank you for that. And I have a question about Maricha. So Maricha was a demon, and he had a fight with Rama, but he learned, he realized that what he was doing, it was wrong, and he changed his ways. He became an ascetic. So that was good thing. But now Ravana is going to go back to Maricha and ask him to help him. So I'm just thinking that does then Maricha now change again, or does he keep Ram at the center, but knowing fully well that he, only Ram is going to save him in the end? So is he now going to put Ram in the center, but he's got no other means but to help Ravana, because otherwise he might get killed? I don't know. Is that the reason why Maricha then decides to help Ravana? So he's like thinking that I will help Ravana, but I'll still keep Ram at the center. Is that how his thinking was? I'm not too sure about that, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Very beautiful, Mataji, questions. This is advanced question, so the answers are in the coming chapter, in the first few paragraphs. So here the mood of Maricha is, Maricha does not want to go and confront Ramchandra. And here Ravanasura, he is mentioning Maricha's refusal to help him was unacceptable. Now Ravanasura is determined. And what is the nature of Ravanasura is, if no one helps him, he does not dare to kill them. He will not spare them. He will kill them immediately. If anyone comes in his way, he will kill them. That is Ravanasura's nature. If Maricha does not help him, he would kill Maricha then and there itself. Okay, that is Ravanasura's nature. And then when Ravanasura was very determined, now understood the Ravanasura's mood, Maricha decides, instead of dying in the hands of Ravanasura, it is better for me to die in the hands of Ramachandra. So he decides, so he is already seeing everywhere only the Ram, Anta Ramamayam, Jagamanta Ramamayam, Ram, 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 Ram. It is kind of a Hanuman, actually he's being. But here Marita is also was like that, in that mood. He was in the meditation. So now it is better to die in the hands of Ramachandra, thinking of Rama. That was his mood later on. He decided. Anyway, he will die. So he understood that anyway, Maricha is going to die. That is for sure now. And then he chose to die in the hands of Ramchandra. We will see that one in the next chapter.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, Hare Krishna, Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Such a nice Prabhu. This chapter is very nice about so much to learn about how to not to be influenced by others, and when they're talking something not nice, then you can't be influenced by them. So whatever in your mind, you just think that way. What is the right for you? So you can learn about the Superkant's character. So how he is telling the Ravana to get Sita because he was to take a revenge. So that is kind of nice, and we can learn in this material life also how to not to be and listen like such things and not to be influenced and Javed Mataji and then others. The good reflection. Ron Prabhu gave the good reflection also. So it's really nice. So much to learn, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. It's very good reflections. Amrita Mataji, are you available? Okay, so thank you so much, all the devotees, for kindly reflecting on the Ramayana. So here we are living in a society. There are many other people. They wanted to fulfill their desires by instigating ourselves. Put up in the center point. And what is one point we could say? Whoever is openly is envious of us, they're our friends. And whoever is openly is doing some materially good for us, and with affections and so many other things, they may, in other way, they'll put us into entanglement with this material world in a comfortable way. And people who are acting like a bit envious at the outside nature, and then we get detached from this material world, but in other way, they're the friends. They will help us to detach from this material entanglement. Okay, so few other angles of our scriptures from Bhagavatam, we could see these things later on. Okay, so we need to be alert. Who is making us to come nearer to the Lord? They are our real friends. Who are making us to move away from the Lord, either good way or bad way. Who are making us to leave away from the Lord? They are not our friends. So in other way, when our family members are not cooperating to ourselves, that does not mean that they are bad people. Because of their nature, we have come to Krishna consciousness. That we need to acknowledge. That means in other way, we need to show compassion and help to them. Because of otherwise we wouldn't have. If they're listening to us very comfortably and have good job and everything else, we wouldn't have come to Krishna consciousness that much easily. Oh, my children are very good. They're hearing me, good wife, good husband, and all things are going on. Why I would need Krishna consciousness? Okay, it is another thing. But to reflect. Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for kindly participating in the Ramayana study. And if you're all happy, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. Unless you have got any further questions. Or you wanted to ask, you wanted to share.
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Pavan Prabhu.
Thank you.
Pavan Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
You usually say Haribol.
Yeah. Everyone, Haribol to Prabhuji for a very good session.
Haribol.
Haribol. Haribol. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribol to all the devotees. So thank you so much for giving your association. Okay, we shall continue with japa. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो नमः.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय.
की जय.
Radha की जय. Hare Krishna conscious day, everyone. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.